This video looks at getting your first code into GarageBand, and we're going to make it a nice, short, simple one to keep it as easy as possible. So I've opened up GarageBand and I'm just going to double click on the piano. And the reason that I've chosen piano, it's not because I necessarily want to write music for piano, but that's just a nice basic template. And it's generally best to name your file with your name in it. So if you submit it to your blend space or via email to your teacher, they can immediately see whose file it is after they've saved it somewhere. So I'm going to pretend just for this exercise that my name is Lucy, as I did in one of the earlier videos, and I'll just save that on the desktop. This is going to open up a new GarageBand file. You don't need to worry about tempo or anything like that because we can change that later. What we're going to do now is we're going to open up the keyboard, the on-screen keyboard. Now, by default in GarageBand, usually this keyboard is open and you can press this button here to turn it into the on-screen keyboard, or what's called musical typing. I'm just going to close that and go up to Window and show you that if you do close the musical typing, this is where you can always open it. You can even learn the shortcut if you like, Shift Command K, but Window and then musical typing will open that again at any time. Now these notes here relate to the notes of the keyboard. So if you and that's the computer keyboard on your laptop or on a Mac in a lab if that's what you're using. So the letter A on my keyboard plays that note, which is actually, ironically, C on a piano keyboard. A little bit confusing, but at first, to think that each note has two letter names, except this one, which actually is F, and this one, which is G. But it just helps you find them on your keyboard, your computer keyboard. The other notes, or the other buttons that are important to know about down here are the octave buttons. And I said in one of the earlier videos, C1 or C2 are good for bass instruments. Let's go down to C1. Up to C2. Still quite low, and then let's go up another 2 octaves to C4. So you can hear now that's much higher. So if we want to record in something as a bass line, make it in a low octave. If we want to record something as a melody, probably make it higher, and chords maybe somewhere in the middle or also high. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm going to pretend that my name is Lucy for this exercise. So I'll just go over to this same grid from that you can see in the booklet that you've got, and I can choose any one of I'll choose one of these ones that I've already got set out for me to work out notes for Lucy. So I'm just going to choose this one for no particular reason. You can see that there is L and the note there is D, and then U here and the note's F. So far my melody or bass line has this note, then this note. Now where's C? C is under this note here. So, ooh, that's starting to sound fairly evil. And Y is here. Actually makes a nice chord if I play all 4 notes at the same time. But that's not what I'm after doing right now. I want to create either a bass line or a melody. So if it's a melody, like I said, it's probably going to be up high. If it's going to be a bass line, it's going to be down low. Now that's got a certain Lady Gaga-ishness about it. I quite like that. So I'm going to go in here into my GarageBand file, and I'm just going to practice playing those notes down in octave C2 or C1. So the first note, and then no, that's it, and so it's I reckon that makes a pretty good bass line. However, not very interesting on piano, so I'm going to go down to bass. and then I can muck around, and you probably won't have as many different sounds as I've got here. I've downloaded lots and lots of extra sounds. You can spend some time finding some of these on the internet if you like. When I click on each one, it will change the sound of the bass. That's pretty good. I quite like that. I might come back to Arcade Attack. Let's try deep and hard bass. Oh, that's got a kind of rock kind of feel to it. That's kind of cool as well. So this is where you need to think about which timbre or tone color is a good sound for the particular effect you're going for. Are you going for a more electronic, techno, dance kind of feel, or are you going for a more kind of rock and roll feel? Maybe I'll just try a couple more. I like that one, but it's a little bit soft on attack. Oh, I don't want that. What's low rent? What's nasty synth bass? Do you know, after all that, I think I'm just going to go straight back up to the Arcade Attack that I started with. Okay, now we want to record that in. So as soon as I click this record button, it's going to start going tick tock, but I don't have to start recording straight away because I can wait until I'm ready. So hit it going. You can see that it's going 2, 3, 4. So actually that's quite fast, isn't it? I'd have to go da 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 da. Now if you find it too fast for you, you can come down here and you can choose project, and you can make the actual tempo of your project lower, but I seem to pretty much manage that, and you can see why I wasn't worried about coming in straight away. It's just shaved off the bits before and after for me, so it's ready now for me to use. The other thing that you can do if your playing isn't quite in time is something called quantization. So let's just have a listen to that. Doesn't even seem to, can't even hear that first note. Maybe it doesn't matter, it's quite cool, but no, I might fix the timing. So to quantize the time, to fix the timing, double click on the recording that you've just made and come down here to at the bottom where it says quantize note timing. Click on that and choose whatever note lengths you played in. If you're not sure, go for 16ths, but if you are sure, I know that I was trying to play 8th notes or quavers there, so I'm going to choose 8th note, and now I'll listen to that again. Oh, that's pretty great. Now, a bass line is no good if it just goes for one bar and stops, so I can move my mouse pointer to the top right hand corner of it and pull it out, and now it's going to go for all of these bars. I've looped it over and over. It sounds like this. Yeah, that's working for me. Alright, in the next video we'll look at adding a drum beat to that.